Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone to the July 31st, 2023 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board this year. To my left is our Vice President and fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis, our Administrator Tracy Davies. Eric's on vacation. Deputy Administrator Don Houston, our clerks Sarah Denova and Jennifer Walraven. We can begin.
Resolution number 23-628, in the matter of approving electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held July 24th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-628. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today. That brings us to item number 3, resolution number 23-629, in the matter of approving purchase orders and announced certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM-APR 0728 and memo transfers in batch number MT-APR 0728.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-629. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
For item number 4, we are considering the replacement sheet that you have in front of you, which has just an additional request on it. In the resolution number 23-630, in the matter of approving travel expense request.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote please.
Vote on motion 23-630. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-631, in the matter of designating August 2023 as Child Support Awareness Month in Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, welcome Joyce.
Good morning, Joyce Bowens, Director of Delaware County Child Support. Each August, Child Support Program celebrates Child Support Awareness Month to promote one of the nation's most critical income support programs. Ohio's Child Support Program provides service to over 1 million children in our state. County Child Support Agency works diligently to ensure that these children receive financial support for a better future. The Child Support Program encourages responsible parenting, family self-sufficiency, and the child's well-being. The agency provides services to locate parents, establish parentage, establish child support, medical support orders, collect and distribute child support, modify orders when circumstances have changed, and enforce orders that are not being paid. County child support agencies provide services to families of all types, from divorcing parents to unmarried parents to caretaker relatives to children in foster care programs and others, regardless of the family income. Locally, the Delaware County Child Support Agency administers services to 5,485 children on cases over 4,254 cases, and collects $23 million in child support each year. Support is key for children to grow up happy and strong. And then we have the resolution in front of you.
Okay. Comments?
Sure. I mean, award-winning department. My gosh. I mean, you all do such a wonderful job, and it's got to be, it's a tough job. We know that, and I just thank you so much. I mean, time after time, you come out.
I have a
Number
wonderful
one.
team, and it's why we're successful, so.
Yes, gosh. Thank you.
I basically just going to say ditto. Basically, be repetitive of what Commissioner Lewis said. The 84.73% with the environment right now economically, is that a little harder to collect the money, or is it?
It is getting a little rougher, but we've managed to maintain our percentage and are still number 1 in the state of Ohio. We're about 2% above the next county that's in line, so we're still doing pretty good and still enforcing.
I was just curious what the stress level was collecting in this environment.
It is getting a little harder, but.
Thank you all for what you do, and thank you for being with us today.
Actually, if you guys
Hey,
don't mind.
sneak
standing
around.
up.
Yeah, you could stand up.
Yes,
Great.
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Yeah, Joyce, thank you. Thank you and the whole team for the excellent work that you do, taking care of our kids that need help, and that's extremely important. So Could you just tell us what the significance of the green is? Everybody's in green.
That's the color they picked for Child Support Awareness Month.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I'm not sure why green, but
All right, well, in my world, it stands for golf, which is a good thing, so.
I thought you were going to say money.
Well, everybody in the world is money. So let's do a vote, and then we've got the proclamation right here, and then we'll do a picture.
Vote on motion 23-631. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right. Thank you all. Let's get a picture.
All right.
Okay, item
Okay.
number 6, resolution number 23-632, in the matter of approving an updated recommendation by the Delaware County Local Emergency Planning Committee for the appointments of representatives.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. Alex McCarthy, Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Management for Delaware County, as well as Vice Chair of the Delaware County Local Emergency Planning Committee. Local emergency planning committees are established under Ohio Revised Code 3750 with the sole focus of making sure communities are adequately prepared for any kind of hazardous materials release incidences. As part of our local responsibilities, every other year, mainly the odd years, we're responsible for presenting to the county commissioners an updated list of members for the local emergency planning committee for your approval before we go on and send that to the State Emergency Response Commission for their final say in the matter. This year, we're excited to be able to provide a list of 33 members from various disciplines, which include Commissioner Lewis as our Commissioner's representative, Ms. Jane Haas back there, who's one of our Media and Public Affairs representatives, as well as different other agencies and organizations out there, ranging from fire, law, and their emergency responders, to even folks like Public Health and American Red Cross, all of whom might need to work together in the event of a disaster. So, yes, we're very excited with the list of people that we have to present with you to serve on our committee for the next 2 years.
Okay.
Just a comment, Alex and I met last week and had a really good meeting, and one of the things that you mentioned was recovery after a disaster. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So one of my main focuses right now is updating our office's ability to help facilitate community recovery after a disaster. There are, with some of the more extreme disasters across the nation, opportunities for assistance either from the federal government or within the state of Ohio through the state's disaster relief fund. And I want to make sure that our office is ready to go in the event that we ever need to work with local jurisdictions to assess different costs that they've incurred from disasters. This year, in order to figure what kind of thresholds we're working with, we take the number 4.1 times our county's population and basically convert that to dollars. So a better way of explaining this is, in order for us to receive any assistance from the State Disaster Relief Fund, we would need to have approximately $850,000 of uninsured damages to county, township, and municipal infrastructure, as well as private nonprofits and co-ops out there. So our office will work very closely with those jurisdictions and nonprofits to figure what has their monetary loss been during a disaster. And that's one of 2 main programs. The other one focuses on homeowners and business owners out there. So in the event that we deal with something like a flood or a tornado, we want to go and kind of meet with homeowners and business owners who've been impacted to determine just how bad the damage is. FEMA has already predetermined 4 levels of damage, major, minor, affected, and destroyed. And If we have 25 homes or businesses that are uninsured or underinsured, they're basically uninhabitable or unusable, then we would potentially be available to pursue state funding. If there's 900 homes across the state, then we could potentially receive assistance from FEMA for those homeowners. Most of the disasters we have across the state, however, tend to be very localized in scale. In the past, I've worked on a couple of different tornadoes and flash flood events that have done catastrophic damage to 4 or 5 homes, but not enough to bring in any of those state or federal funds. So what we've had to do in the past is work with local faith-based organizations and other volunteer groups and nonprofits across the area to kind of help those homeowners start their recovery process. So where that relates to our local efforts, we're just working very diligently right now to start building and maintaining relationships with those local entities here in Delaware County, as well as some of the regional and statewide organizations, so that we can quickly request their assistance in the event of any natural disaster or other hazard out there that might impact homeowners or business owners.
Boy, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Merrill?
I'm really impressed with the quality of your presentation about what you do, and well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, very comprehensive list of leadership in the county to participate and be available and part of the solution if we ever do have need for, a hazardous event or a big catastrophe in the county. So great to have this plan put together and such an outstanding group participating. Jennifer, let's take a vote.
Vote on motion 23-632. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Alex.
Alex.
Resolution number 23-633, in the matter of setting the date and time to receive qualifications for a construction manager at risk for the North Star Water Reclamation Facility NPDES plant upgrade project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. So this is a project to upgrade North Star, kind of for dual purposes. One is for us at the county to get some operational needs addressed that we need. The second is for Nationwide to be able to get a direct discharge, and which will obviously also help us at the county. But that direct discharge will allow them to develop their spray fields instead of having to use them for the treatment plant effluent to be sprayed on the fields, similar to what we do with the golf course currently. So this is a project where we're splitting the cost. Currently, it's 76% paid by Nationwide and 24% paid by the county. That's what we did with the consultant cost. And then rolling into the construction cost, it would be likely a similar arrangement once we get those final costs nailed down, looking at about a $4.5 million project currently.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that big project.
Yeah, it is, yes, and it'll include the force main to get the effluent all the way to, I think it's Little Walnut Creek over in that area. Currently, it just discharges right into the pond, so that adds some cost as well. That would be on Nationwide for that portion of the project.
Okay. Well, North Star is developing, a lot going on, so certainly understand the need to expand the capacity and improve things.
Nothing to
So,
add. I mean, this was expected over time, but it was going to grow. And
Right, yeah, originally the intention was for even the additional capacity upgrade in the future to go into the effluent pond. So this is kind of a deviation from what that original plan was for Nationwide to be able to develop those spray fields.
What's the timeline for this project?
So this will be just trying to get the CMAR on board, which is the contractor. We already have a consultant on board. Hazen and Sawyer is doing the engineering work on this. So we would likely spend about 3 months getting a contractor on board as the CMAR, and then likely another year or so to kind of work through the rest of that process with finalizing the design and then starting construction. So
Okay.
we're looking at probably a total of 2 years
Okay,
with engineering and then construction.
all right. Other questions, comments?
No.
Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-633. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-634, in the matter of approving an easement to Delco Water Company Incorporated in conjunction with the Olentangy Environmental Control Center Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is the same easement that we had on session, I believe, last week with the subdividers agreement. It's a permanent easement for a master meter vault for Delco to be able to provide fire suppression and hydrants to our new OECC screen building.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 23-634. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-635, a resolution of necessity for the purchase or lease of a motor vehicle for the use of the Delaware County Regional Sewer District.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
So this is a new crane truck that will replace an older crane truck that we have that was red flagged due to issues with the crane itself. We'll be purchasing this on state bid, and it'll allow us to haul, basically pull any of the pumps that we have in the district out of those wet wells that we have.
Okay, was this budgeted, Tiffany?
So we budgeted a new semi-truck this year. I think at $250,000 is what we budgeted for the semi-truck. Due to a retirement, we have not needed to replace that truck, so we would intend on using that money for this truck and then looking at our needs for next year.
Okay. All right, other questions, comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 23-635. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-636, in the matter of certification of delinquent accounts to the county auditor for accounts to be assessed to payable year 2024 taxes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
We're certifying $172,552 this quarter, which equates to 4.25% of our accounts. This is in line with typically what we see. We're right above 4% almost every quarter. But also, just as another side note, in 2022, we did capture a total of 109% of the total user fees through these certifications.
Great.
So we've collected on some of the past dues.
Correct, yeah, plus fees, late fees, and auditor's fees.
Very good.
Yeah, good. Vote, please, Jennifer?
Vote on motion 23-636. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-637, in the matter of reducing the solid waste tipping fees for the Delaware County Fair Trash.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
So similar to years past, we will waive the county's portion of the tip fee, which is $3.50 per ton. Also, Rumpke has agreed to reduce their portion of the fee by 50%. So we'll give some, alleviate some of the cost for the fair.
Okay. Good to know, good to see, appreciate the help. Vote, please, Jennifer?
Vote on motion 23-637. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Next, we're going to have our sanitary approval update to the Board of Commissioners.
Great, thanks, Jennifer.
Here.
So the first group of projects that we have in yellow here are subdividers agreements. We don't have any plan approvals for the month of July. The first subdividers agreement is the greenery. This is a project that's over near 23, and it will feed into our new Hyatt's pump station. This is 121 single-family units, and that is kind of one of the first projects that's going into that pump station. There are also a couple apartments that are just south of that area as well. And then we have over near 36, 37, and 71, we have a couple apartments as well. First is District at Berkshire. This is Champion Company's 212 total units, which is 300 apartment units, but 212 ERUs into our system. This project is still in Berkshire Township. And then the Ravines at Meadow Ridge, this is in City of Sunbury. This is a 312 apartment unit complex by Metro. Then we have some sewer acceptances. The first one is Pyatt Preserve, which is a 33-lot, single-family home subdivision by D.R. Horton. And then second, another apartment complex up near 71 and 3637. This one is in the North Star service area, and it's 240 apartment units. And then finally, Mauve Meadows. I'm sorry, there's actually one more. I have to zoom out a little bit. Mauve Meadows is 35 single-family units by Pulte. This is at Cheshire and Pyatt. And then there's one more down here.
Oh, wow.
There it is.
Yeah.
And this is just a short stub of sewer that's going to, it's a small development that it's building it's their personal home, but they're building a party barn type of structure that they needed to extend sewer for. And that's, I think, all. I'll take any questions.
Okay. Appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot going on, a lot of apartments.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of apartments. We've noticed our tap fees are down, substantially from where we had budgeted for this year. I think it's, one reason is because a lot of these apartments haven't tapped in yet.
Right,
So.
right. Okay, very good. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
All right, Jennifer?
Item number 13, resolution number 23-638, in the matter of approving an amendment to the use of procurement cards for Soil and Water Conservation District.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Brett Bacon, Deputy Administrator, Soil and Water Conservation District. This amendment is for Matt Lanham, our Deputy Administrator and Head of Field Operations for Drainage Maintenance. With the rising cost of materials, and we're also renting some equipment now so that we can do some work on our own without having to hire outside contractors. We're being limited by the current purchasing limits, and we're requesting an increase to those.
Okay, all right. Vote, Jennifer?
Vote on motion 23-638. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-639, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for drainage maintenance.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Again, this supplemental would be for our materials line, specifically for the purchase of chemicals. We've run into a shortage in the main chemical that we use to spray for brush and other types of stuff along ditches and in retention and detention basins. Actually ran out of it. There's very limited similar chemicals. We've since located a couple suppliers that are going to allow us to purchase a larger than anticipated quantity so that we don't run out again, and this would be above our budgeted amount. So we're requesting that to be able to, so we don't run out again.
Okay. All right, questions, comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-639. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Okay.
Thanks,
Brett.
Brett.
Resolution number 23-640, in the matter of designating a designee for the Commissioner's Office for Public Records Training.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. We have before you a resolution to designate Eric Weitz, who is our new communications specialist, to serve as your designee. It made good, efficient sense since he was going to be taking the course anyway at the end of September, so we recommend appointing him.
Okay, good.
And we thank you.
Yeah, we
Thank
thank you, Eric.
I'm sure he'll be happy to provide a quick lesson
Cliff Notes
afterwards.
version of the presentation. Yeah, it's a complex topic, but a very important one. So, vote, Jennifer?
Vote on motion 23-640. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-641, in the matter of approving the request for competitive sealed proposals for Delaware County video production services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This one, I've worked with our attorney, Eric Hochstetler, to put together this RFP. We're trying something different this time, and with our video, the production services, we've been doing it on a year-to-year basis. This would be a multi-year contract for a base term of 3 years, and then with the option to extend it in 2 more additional one-year terms. So that we don't have to go through this. And there is virtue and continuity with working with the same team each year, so.
You do such an excellent job on that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what the proposals bring in this time, but,
Right.
yeah.
right. So, yeah.
And I assume there'll be some sort of protection if something happened, the company didn't perform properly or something, and.
Oh,
2 or
absolutely, yeah,
3.
that's definitely addressed in the
Just
RFP.
want to
Mhm.
make that statement.
Yep.
Okay, vote, Jennifer?
Vote on motion 23-641. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-642, in the matter of approving a permit for use of Delaware County facilities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
And finally, we have a resolution for a facilities permit application. This is for the Delaware County Republican Club to set up a float outside the perimeter, the acceptable perimeter, outside the Board of Elections in the Willis parking lot on this Saturday, August 5th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, all right. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-642. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jane.
Resolution number 23-643, in the matter of approving supplemental appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Justin Navi, Director of Finance. This is a request for supplementals, and it's partly attributed to about $700 in unspent ERA 1 grant monies, so we'll be returning those monies to the federal government. Also, we need just $19 to process the second half payment to Turning Point.
Okay,
I think we can do
$19,
that.
yeah, I think we can find that money. Jennifer, let's vote.
Vote on motion 23-643. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Romero?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Justin.
Resolution number 23-644, in the matter of adopting an updated Delaware County Dog Shelter regular unscheduled call-out and holiday coverage policy.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Dawn Houston, Deputy Administrator, and I'm recommending your approval of this updated on-call policy for our dog warden and the assistant staff. As Jennifer mentioned, they are on call after hours, holidays, weekends, middle of the night. And this policy update would specify the on-call expectations as well as payments and time off for the dog warden and the 3 assistants. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them for you.
Don't have any
No,
questions?
just necessary to do it. Boy.
Yeah, they do a nice job. and
Yeah.
Yes, they
This-
do.
This improves the structure of everything, so thank you for leading on that. Jennifer, let's vote.
Vote on motion 23-644. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
That brings us to administrator report.
Nothing, Tracy? Dawn?
Just a reminder that this Friday is the health fair from 7 a.m. till noon at the Hamilton Williams Center at Ohio Westland. It's the last chance to get blood work done on-site to complete the county's wellness program. And then we also have slots still available for annual mammograms, and we really encourage people to attend.
When does the screening information have to be submitted?
It has to be submitted by a week from Thursday, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I need to get mine in, so. There is a deadline.
We're getting close to the deadline.
We have to have a deadline.
Yes.
That it, Dawn?
That's it.
Okay, Commissioner Merrill?
Don't have a lot. I know at regional planning last week, Michelle Bonney and Dave Stites will be resigning from the executive committee, and I just want to I serve on that board representing the commissioners, and I can't say enough what a great job those two have done, and the circumstances, I don't go in details, but changes in jobs and as a result of them needing to move on, but both of them have been outstanding. And this week, the Entrepreneur Center at OWU will be doing interviews. The board will be doing some interviews with a couple of candidates, maybe a third candidate later, regarding the directorate position. So look forward to that. I believe the first one's tomorrow, and I believe another on Wednesday, and another one still to be scheduled. And that's all I have.
Okay, good. Commissioner Lewis?
People in need are still collecting fans, so especially as August approaches, like tomorrow, people who don't have air conditioning really need fans, and so people can drop off the fans, of course, always at people in need, but even better, they could drop them off at our EMA, at all of our EMS stations, and also all of our fire EMS stations throughout the county. So there are plenty of places that the fans can be dropped off. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Just a couple of things. We had a Ohio Land Bank Association meeting on Thursday, I think it was, and 3 main topics came up. One is that we have this replacement funding opportunity for demolition in brownfield. Well, actually, this one is just for demolition at this point, but we have some funding available for demolitions in the county that from unspent funds in round 1, and that money is unavailable after June 30th of '24. So, and it can't be for projects that have already been demolished. It has to be for new projects. They can be in contract, but just not no work started. So we have that. That's opportunity number 1. Opportunity number 2 is basically a replication of round 1, and we're calling it round 2, and that's another $500,000 for demolition funding available in the succeeding 2 years, and $1 million per county for brownfield remediation. So please be aware of that, spread the word. We did the city of Delaware, Diane Gunther led the administrative process and did an outstanding job. We had all 6 of the projects done extremely well and on time and actually significantly under budget. So this funding can really help communities deal with blighted properties. So again, round 1 has to be done by June 30th, 24. Round 2, the 2 years after that. And again, each county is guaranteed some money. The affordable housing component of the funding that was in the budget is a little fuzzier. There's a lot of details to be worked out. The legislation as proposed doesn't look very realistic in terms of being realistically available to local jurisdictions to fund affordable housing. And so they're trying to work through what needs to be changed and do a legislative change in the coming term, maybe this year, maybe next year, but there's just too many unrealistic legislative restrictions in this current that have to be reworked. So it doesn't look like, and the land bank does have to be the lead entity in that when it is reworked. But anyway, again, good idea. Need to fine tune the details. Had a SEPCO board meeting on Friday. No real significant changes. I think things are going along well to keep adding counties. Mike Kindle does a nice job. So no real significant changes there. Regional planning, as Commissioner Merrill mentioned, we do lose Dave Stites and Michelle Bonney. Hate to see them leave. Dave has led that organization for a long time.
And at least 5, 6 years, and done a tremendous job.
Done
He's
a
extremely,
great job.
does a great job of leading the meeting.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be tough shoes to fill there. He does a nice job. Let's see, MORPC Executive Committee this week, and I got a budget webinar, speaking of budgets, tomorrow morning. CCAO is putting it on because the budget is always a very complex document, and there's all kinds of things in it that we need to learn more about. But anyway, that's it for now. We do need executive session though, Jennifer?
We do. Resolution number 23-645, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment, promotion, and compensation of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation and for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 645. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right, we're now in executive session.